What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So, let's get right into this one, you guys. I'm really excited to share this one with you. I caught the latest episode of Heavy Muscle Radio on RX Muscle, which features, of course, Chris Aceto, the coach of Andrew Jacked, and man, I think Psycho Lewis is gonna be pissed at Chris and Dave for this one. Dave Palumbo threw up a recent check-in picture of Andrew Jacked from only about 10 days ago, so this picture puts Andrew at about 2.5 weeks out. This is the only update picture we've seen of Andrew Jacked since he dropped a video on his Instagram February 1st. So, let's take a look. First off, Andrew does look depleted here, as he should at 2.5 weeks out, so you do need to be able to look past that a bit here, you guys. But from what we see here from an improvement standpoint, Andrew looks like he's had a huge shock to his system. The upper body, of course, is very impressive, and I think it's looking on par, if not better than the Olympia. His biceps do look bigger, I think, but the legs look so much bigger in this picture. The quad sweep was something that Andrew really needed, like near the hip tie-in area, and man, it looks like he's improved on that for sure. All those sled pulls look like they're really paying off. Now, the big question with Andrew remains, how do the hams and glutes look? Well, if the improvements in his legs from the front are any indication of what we might see from the back, I think Psycho Lewis has a chance of, delivering on his promise of how Andrew will look from the back. Because Psycho Lewis did promise us ham and glute tie-ins like we've never seen from Andrew. I actually did expect Andrew to look just a bit sharper than this around 2.5 weeks out, to be honest, considering all the talk that Psycho Lewis has been doing anyway, and that is taking into consideration the fact that he's flat right now. But Psycho has always acknowledged that Andrew does need to improve on his legs more than anything. He actually described Andrew as an upside-down pyramid on one of his recent Instagram live streams. But as I have Andrew in my top 3, I still feel good about that after seeing this picture. So, we'll see how he looks in the lineup in just 5 days. Now, one of the guys that Andrew will be standing next to is Shaun Clarida, and Shaun is really going to have to live up to his name of the Giant Killer in this show, because without a doubt, he faces the top-tier giants of the sport at the Arnold Classic. Like I said in my prediction video, Shaun just does not have the same quantity of muscle as the bigger guys, so he will look smaller in that sense on stage. But we can almost guarantee that he will be the most conditioned, the most symmetrical, the most detailed from the back, the most feathered quads. And if Shaun was 6 inches taller with, wider clavicles, he would probably win the show almost hands down. Nobody matches Shaun's conditioning, nobody. But many have him winning the show just as it stands now. So, what if Shaun does win the Arnold Classic? Well, I think if he does, it will completely change how we expect bodybuilding to be judged in the future. If Shaun wins to guys that are almost a foot taller, if not a full foot taller than he is, with upwards of 75 pounds or 100 pounds of more muscle than he has, that could mean that size no longer matters as much as conditioning and symmetry in the judges' eyes, and it will only further the conversation of if the 212 will have a necessary future as a division in the IFBB. Now, for the record, even if Shaun does win, I don't think the 212 is going anywhere in the near future. But anyway, I'll get into that in another video. There's no time to discuss the future of the 212 right now. We're only 5 days from the Arnold Classic. And Nick Walker has arrived in Columbus, Ohio. Not only can fans start to get more and more excited for the big show, but competitors can start getting excited about, carving up for the show, because it's been a long road for a lot of these guys. Even for Nick Walker, who we all naively expected to breeze through his prep into the Arnold. He recently said on the latest episode of Mutant and the Mouth that the road hasn't been that easy for him.
So I actually had the mentality like, this is going to be fucking easy. And it's been the hardest. Yeah. Literally the hardest. I know I can win, and that's just the mindset that I have. But, people just need to understand, like, if I truly believe if you're truly suffering, you'll get to a point where you want to quit. Like, that's just facts, If you're not at that point, I don't believe, you'll be ready.
It's easy to think that Nick has already been in shape for the show, so he would just have to maintain, and that's easier than cutting down body fat after a typical off-season, and that's true of a lot of the competitors in the Arnold. But maintaining lower levels of body fat for basically 6 months takes its toll mentally and physically. But, as we all know, Nick is willing to do whatever it takes to win, and according to his coach, Matt Jansen, they have never made a push like they are now to bring in Nick to a show. I think this means we really will see the best Nick Walker to date on that Arnold stage. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Only 5 days to go until the Arnold Classic. Stay tuned right here on EP09 for all the updates. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe.